Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Thanks, everyone, for joining. This is the $10,000 lesson in AdWords, and we're going to be talking about some really exciting and fun stuff in regards to AdWords today. AdWords, of course, is a PPC tool that powers you to show up in Google search results, form of an advertisement. I've been doing AdWords for a couple years now, and I'm certified now, and we help a lot of clients do PPC. But at the same time, there was a time where I didn't know a lot about AdWords, and that was a problem. And that's where this $10,000 lesson came in. Somewhat hyperbolized, but also somewhat not, because it's very easy to spend a lot of money on AdWords. And so today, we're going to talk about the things you could do to not spend money on AdWords and not make the same mistakes I made. So who am I? I'm Dan Teller. I work at WebKite, and here's just some quick bullet points about me. I find marketing and communications fascinating, and I think it's really important to educate people on these tools so that they aren't making those mistakes. I've been doing this for over 5 years, and I'm also, and then when I'm not marketing, a pizza journalist, which is super exciting because I get to write and take photos and eat a lot of pizza. We could talk about pizza in our next webinar. But for now, this one's all about advertising online. So like I said before, I work at WebKite, and we have a product, Radius. It's a platform that automates a lot of this advertising stuff. You can check it out, webkite.com, or you can log in at radius.webkite.org. It's pretty nifty, and if you have any questions about it afterward, I can answer those. Speaking of questions, there is a, you should see under sidebar there where you're logged in, where you're able to ask questions, and I will answer them throughout the presentation. So some things you will learn at the end of this webinar. You'll learn how to make sure you aren't leaking money through AdWords, which is very important because it's kind of tough to plug those holes once they open up. And then we'll learn how to be specific, and by being specific, you will save a ton of money. And then we'll also talk about how you get high quality clicks on your ads, which sort of goes back to the being specific portion of this, because you'll see how this all sort of works together. So let's get started, if there aren't any initial questions, and talk about AdWords. So the beauty of AdWords is that you could show up on the front page of Google. Here's, I've boxed out an ad for WebKite, and we're the second one in there. When you type in small business advertising, we have our ad that shows up between Yodel and Business Marketing 360, great companies, and there we are. So that's sort of the beauty is, you could be at the top of AdWords, and that's important because 53% of searches don't go beyond the first 2 results, and 89% don't look past the first page of AdWords. So you can kind of understand that if you're not in the top 3 or 4 results in either an advertising capacity or organic search capacity, you may as well not exist to a lot of people. Pretty bizarre, but true, and I'm sure this sort of reflects a lot of your habits on Google. So you could see, and also being on Google is important because the way a customer finds information about a product is primarily going to a search engine. Behind that, it's going to physical stores and apps, and then behind that, it's social networking and online video stuff. So search engines is the go-to source of information, right? Because you could type something into your toolbar and you could see, thousands of links there that will point to probably things that you want to see. And that's the amazing thing. That's why Google's so popular, right? Because it gives you good information. At the end of the day, that's kind of all you want. And then why Google, of course, Google is 67.43% on search networks. behind that is Yahoo and Bing, which are sort of exactly the same. Actually, Yahoo uses Bing now. But Bing and Yahoo are growing little by little and sort of chipping away at Google. Obviously, it's going to be a while before they are equals, if they ever become equals. But, Google doesn't have the stranglehold it once had. There are actually competitors. And, if you are really interested in online advertising, it might be worth investigating Bing ads. You might find a lower cost per click. There's also a smaller search volume. So online advertising and all these search engines are keyword focused. And when we talk about keyword focused, you basically advertise based on whatever someone types into Google. And you want to find people that are ready to buy or use your products. So here's a decision funnel of the phases a customer goes through to find something that they want online. They realize they have a problem at top. Okay, how do I make pizza dough? And then they type that into Google, and then they start reading some blogs and they see some results from their social networks, and it's like, okay, to make pizza dough you need a mixer, right? Because you have to mix that dough. Okay, great. I know if I want to make pizza dough, I need a mixer. So now I'm going to search for mixers for pizza dough online, and then they see some results. They see highly rated results. They see people recommending KitchenAid mixers. Now they could search, all right, I need to buy a KitchenAid mixer, so I'm going to type buy KitchenAid mixer. And your ads should parrot the customer searches. So if someone searches for how to make pizza dough, your ad should talk about, make pizza dough with our mixers. If someone searches for mixers for pizza dough, your ad should say in stock, great pizza dough mixers. And then if someone searches by KitchenAid mixer, your ad should say KitchenAid mixer sale, great for making pizza dough, right? Because you just want to reinforce that what they typed in is the ad they click on is going to match that expectation. And that's sort of the beauty of Google AdWords, because you can get very specific. Because if you know the keyword someone's going to type in and you know what ad's going to show up, you could kind of give them a really great user experience from start to finish, and they'll be very happy and they'll buy a ton of stuff from you. So what we're going to focus on today is talking more about how you can get to that bottom of the funnel, right? You don't necessarily want someone who wants to make pizza dough or wants a pizza dough mixer. You want someone that is ready to buy a KitchenAid mixer, right? They already know what they wanted. They know they've done the research. They know a KitchenAid mixer is right up their alley. You sell KitchenAid mixers. You want to find that person. And so before we get into that, we'll sort of talk about some of the enemies of a great AdWords campaign. And these are things that I found during my journey that can pose as distractions. They could pose as things that cost money. There's just bad things you don't want to do. So one thing is the allure of clicks. A lot of people just want a ton of clicks and traffic to their website, but there's different quality levels of the type of click you're getting. Some clicks are good, but not always, right? Because if you're getting the wrong people coming to your site, like, what's the point? That's a lose-lose. Not tracking conversions, because if you don't know what's working, you don't know what to optimize. And then being too broad. Being too broad just means you're going to get the absolutely wrong people to your site. Your ads will do poorly, and it'll just be a very awful experience for you. And these are all sort of things that someone, even experienced people with AdWords, still do from time to time. And we'll talk about how to avoid that stuff and focus on getting someone that is specific and in line with your mission. So the allure of clicks. This is something when I first started out doing AdWords that probably cost us a lot of money. There was this idea that if we could get traffic, no matter what kind of traffic, it would result in great things. It probably cost us a couple $1,000s over 4 months. It all started when someone I worked with said, "Hey Dan, let's increase this traffic by 3x." And that's not easy with AdWords, because there's only so much search volume, right? There's only so many people typing in, "I want to buy a KitchenAid mixer," per day. per month even. There's only so many people that want to buy a certain product per day. And it's pretty easy to max out that sort of search on Google AdWords. And you can only add so many keywords without things being redundant. So as you can see here, right, you have the monthly search results for, this is some KitchenAid mixers. There's only so many. And you can sort of see down there, they're high competition, and the suggested bid of $1.36. If you want more volume, you end up getting too broad and too competitive. And so what happens is the cost per click goes up because there's just more people bidding on those keywords. And it's not exactly the best thing to be doing. So you don't want to get clicks for the heck of it. You want to focus on just getting the keywords that work. So instead of getting someone that's looking for a KitchenAid mixer and showing them the same ad that everyone else is showing them, you might want to get a little more specific and get searching for how to make pasta with KitchenAid mixer. There's going to be a smaller amount of search, but it's going to be higher quality traffic because these are people that specifically want, and your budget will go much farther because the cost per click is going to be super low. Because the way Google AdWords works is every keyword, the cost of it is determined by an auction. More people bidding on a keyword means that the prices go up. So if no one's bidding on how to make pasta with a kitchen mixer, you could basically get that for a couple 10, 20 cents, which is awesome. So what do you do if you actually want more clicks and don't want to go down to the bottom of the funnel there? Well, you're gonna have to explore higher up, right? So you have to sort of understand where your customers are coming from, what decisions they're making to land on your product, and intercept them in the middle of that decision-making process. So, right now, if you're trying to find someone buying KitchenAid mixers, if you really want clicks, you could maybe start doing some content marketing and finding people that want to make pizza dough, because you could introduce those people to your KitchenAid mixers in your newsletter, on your blog, on your Facebook, things like that. So that's one way to get more clicks that, I find that the top of the funnel there isn't necessarily the best for AdWords. AdWords really does wonders when you're focusing on the bottom of the funnel. But, if you're doing content marketing or email or building community, find people that in the problem recognition phase, and that will help get more traffic to your site. So enemy number 2, not tracking conversions. And this probably costs us a lot of money because we were doing a lot of AdWords at the time, a lot of different campaigns and ad groups, and trying a ton of experiments, and not many of them, we didn't know what was working and what was not working. So a lot of spaghetti at the wall. The whole wall was just nothing but spaghetti on top of spaghetti, and we didn't know what was sticking or what was not sticking. It was complete chaos. So this here is a conversion code. This is our conversion code. And Google AdWords is really great about generating conversion codes for every goal that you have set up on the back end. So if you want to track phone calls, or you want to track certain people getting to certain pages of your website, you can do that with conversion codes. It'll generate something. You just have to stick it into the HTML of your website, sort of like injecting or embedding a YouTube page or YouTube video. And so something that we did when we started tracking conversions was tracking people that were clicking on this button here that I have highlighted, push with websites in minutes. That's what we wanted people to do. So we were able to tie that to some sort of JavaScript action so that we could register a conversion whenever someone clicked on that, so we could see what ads were bringing people to the button and what ads weren't. And so, the conversion code was on this page here, the contact form submitted also. This is a separate conversion. So when someone submitted a contact form, we could see, okay, what ads bring people to the site, and then what makes them submit a contact form, and then what makes them click that button. And, here's a list of stuff that we started tracking was, okay, how many people came from AdWords, how many people signed into Radius, how many people get to the admin panel, how many people download WebKite. And once you have all these conversions set up, it's really easy to understand what's working, what's not working. And this will allow you to turn off campaigns that are not working, and also accelerate and pour more money into campaigns that are working. So as you can see here, here's what AdWords looks like. And you can see the converted click column and the cost for converted click, the last two columns, really tell a really great story. Build a directory, we're getting conversions at $47 a conversion, right? Which is great because our product was $100 at the time. And further down, you see, okay, business directory software or directory software is higher, right? It's $80 a conversion. And so we can make decisions and say, okay, directory software is not worth investing in because we could put all that money into build a directory, because that will result in more conversions at a lower cost. And we're able to maximize and minimize our expenses because of that. So good use of conversion codes will save you money, and you'll be able to attribute your success. And so when your boss comes in, Monday morning, everyone's a little grumpy because the weekend's over, and your boss says, hey, Dan, or whatever your name is, I need a report of what's working, what's not working. Why are people signing up? Why aren't people signing up? You can show them exactly the keywords that are bringing in sales and bringing in quality traffic to your website. And that's something that a good use of conversion code does. So, and this is the final enemy of an AdWords campaign, is being too broad. Being too broad. So, this probably cost us $4,000 over a couple months. And the reason being is that AdWords is very nuanced. They don't explain a lot of things unless you go and try and learn as much as you can initially. So what happens is a lot of people get into AdWords and just start adding broad keywords. So you never want to use broad keywords. And they might seem simple and straightforward, but it's really awful. So this is how broad keywords work. So if you have the keyword small business software and you're using that as a broad match keyword, your ad could potentially show up when someone types in small giraffe photos, or when someone types in business sock sale, or when someone types in software for ordering pizza. What it's doing is looking at the broad keyword you typed in, small business software, and then whenever someone types that into a search engine, it says, oh, this customer is advertising broad match keyword for small. They must want to show up for when someone types in small giraffe photos. And so here are a list of keywords that people were typing in to find our directory software. You can see someone typed in walk with ease and came to our website. Someone typed in things about you and came to our website. And someone typed in right search engine and came to our website. These things are completely nonsensical, and in no way were they good customers at all. But, this cost us money because someone wanted to find pediatrics or, walk with ease. What could they possibly be looking for? This person completely misspelled Colorado facts and came to our website. We have nothing to do with Colorado. We don't have facts on Colorado on our site. And yet, we spent a couple dollars to bring them in, and they were very confused, and we're confused, and everyone was just really unhappy with their experience. So that's the dangers of broad key match or broad matching keywords. And so you want to use other match types. So here's broad match again. When someone types in, if you have the broad match pizza sauce, your ad will show up as someone types in pizza place or sauce recipe. Your ad will not show up if someone searches does not contain pizza or sauce. That's important to remember. Broad match plus is a little better. You put little plus signs in front of the keyword, and your ad will show up when the query contains both the word pizza and sauce. So if someone types in pizza and sauce recipe, your ad will show up. Your ad will not show up if someone types in a keyword that does not have pizza and sauce in it. This is probably the most sensible place to start if you're sort of not sure what you should be advertising, just because it'll prevent a lot of ad clicks, but you'll still get some broad stuff that don't necessarily make sense. So phrase match is when you have a phrase that you want to show up for. So if someone types in the phrase, so our keyword is order a pizza. Someone types in how to order a pizza, will show up, but it will not show up if someone types in ordering a salad and a pizza. So what you're saying with phrase match is, okay, I only want to show up when these words are in this specific order. There could be other words in the query, but these words in the quotes need to be there. So that's why you show up for how to order a pizza, but not for ordering a salad and a pizza. And then exact match is exactly what it says it is, where you put things in brackets and you only show up if that exact query is typed into Google. So someone types in great pizza in Philly, and your keyword is great pizza in Philly, you will show up. If someone types in pizza Philly, you will not show up. If someone types in great pizza, you will not show up. It's only when someone types in great pizza in Philly. So exact match is awesome for that if you know exactly the kind of keywords you want to show up for. And then on the flip side of that, you can build your ad campaigns around knowing exactly what the person is searching for. So you can have ads that say, hey, you're looking for great pizza in Philly, click here. And so tools that you could use in AdWords that will help you be more specific with your AdWords campaign. They're called ad extensions, and they're amazing. So using extensions, you'll be able to pinpoint areas of your website. You can have specifics about what you want to talk about, and you can talk about them with extensions. So we'll show you some examples here. Okay, so here's an ad for when I typed in KitchenAid mixer into Google, and you'd be surprised, but almost the bottom half of this are all ad extensions. Everything in that black box is an ad extension. So if you're not using ad extensions, you're missing out on so much real estate and conveying so much extra information. And if we'll go back here real quick, so just to sort of point these out, some of these ad extensions are call outs. So they have like the brands that they have in their store. They have their Google Plus information, which, you know, when I go to make a decision, that's the first thing that I look for. And then it also has their address, and then also has their phone number. And all that stuff's completely. But by providing this extra information, you're able to inform the searcher, you know, where you're located and convey all this information that can help them make a better decision. So, you know, including local information is really important because it can help customer to local information in search, you know, improves 75% of people want to know the price of an item at a nearby store. 74% also want to know that item is in stock, and then 59% will go to a store if there's a map, right? So by providing that information, you're just sort of incentivizing, making it easy for a customer to come to your store and buy from you. So these are also some aspects that will increase the likelihood of a customer coming to your store. If they know there's a store close by, the 30% increase that they'll come to you. They know they can get it quickly, buying in person. And if they know that you have a better price, at the 31%, you don't have to list the price in your thing. You can just say, we have the best price, right? Because maybe you do, hopefully you do. And that could be something that brings someone to your store. By being specific and really tailoring your AdWords, you're going to be a lot more competitive in the AdWord front. So here's a client of ours, their tax service. This is something that we were advertising for around tax time in April. And everyone wants to be on the front page of Google, right? Because everyone's trying to do your taxes, businesses, small businesses. How can you be competitive, right? With H&R Block, tax resolution, all tax incorporated. It's tough, but because our client, who's one person in Michigan, was very specific with what the keywords that they wanted to advertise for, we were able to get them in the top 3 results of Google because they were super specific. And here's another quick anecdote, one of our clients is a hobby shop in Pittsburgh. And what they do is they have, a ton of knickknacks and small items for all the exciting hobbies you could ever want. So they have models, they have glues, they have paints, they have parts for trains, boats, ships, all kinds of that stuff. So here's a look at their page, right? They have super sharp scissors, they have metal joint parts, they have 170/20 scale of the USS Ronald Reagan, super cool stuff. And they wanted to advertise all this stuff, but the problem was very time consuming. So what we did is we basically generated all these ads based on every single one of their products. So each of these rows is a different product, and inside each of these is, very specific keywords. And not a ton of people are searching for these items, right? Like Munster's House scale, not a ton of people. And this is just the Pittsburgh area. But the people that were searching would find ads for Bill and Walt. And so when someone typed in 1/350th Japanese battleship Yamato, they would see an ad for Bill and Walt's hobby shop. And this is super incredible because they weren't able to do this before. And we were delivering very specific ads tailored to very specific people. And so the cost per click was very low, the conversion rate was very high, and we brought in a lot of new customers that Bill and Walt wasn't able to reach. So that's sort of a great way to advertise online. So to recap, you can save money, and you can save $10,000 or so. I can't legally promise that, but you will not waste money if you focus on getting high quality clicks. Clicks are a vanity metric. What really matters are and likes and getting people to interact with you in a meaningful way. However you define that, you want to focus on that. Clicks are not always the best metric. Track what works using conversion codes. That way you can turn off things that aren't working. You can maximize things that are. You can be as specific as possible. By being specific, your cost per click will be lower and you will get more conversions and you'll get more high quality clicks. You can see how this all sort of ties together. So those three things will hopefully stop you from wasting a ton of money like I did. Question, comments, you could email me, dan@webkit.com, or you could check out, Radius at radius.webkit.org. We help businesses of all sizes advertise online. So let's see if we have any questions here. What kind of ad extensions are there? So ad extensions, we talked briefly about that, but ad extensions, there's map ad extensions, so like location, stuff like that. You can have ad extensions that point to specific parts of your website. And you could even, what I think is really interesting is you can have ad extensions that is your phone number, and on your mobile is like click to call. So someone can click that and they could call right from their cell phone, which is awesome. The other question here is, how do you advertise just to people in a certain area? So location-based advertising, which can be really meaningful to any sort of business, is dictated in your campaign settings. So if you go to your campaign, you will be able to change where you're targeting in a certain radius of your area. So you could type in your business address and target people, within 5 miles of that, 20 miles of that, or you could certain zip codes. AdWords gives you a ton of tools to target a ton of people in different ways. So you should definitely use those. So those were the 2 questions that we sort of gathered throughout the broadcast, and that's kind of it for now. So if there's no more questions, feel free to send me an email, dan@webkit.com. I would love to talk to you about this. I will look at your AdWords campaigns. This stuff is very interesting to me. So I look forward to hearing from you, and thanks a lot for checking us out, and hope to see you at the next webinar. All right, have a great day.